So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special demo by some very special people here today. We're doing this and we're recording this specifically for the participants of the 90K 90 Days Real Estate Challenge that are running through the Real Estate Challenge with us here in Q1 of 2024. If you're watching this video and you did not participate in the 90K 90 Days Challenge, know that whoever sent you this video loves you and cares about you and really wants to and is cheering on your success. And that's why they sent you this video, because it's only available unlisted on a private YouTube channel. This is why you're seeing this video. And because of that, I wanted to make sure that over the course of the next 55 or so minutes that you're going to be sitting here and learning, I need you to grab with you a pen and a paper. And I need you to be ready to take notes, okay? Because it won't be fair to yourself if you're going to want to go back to the recording of this video as you watch your way through it, because you remember one or two things and you can't find it, right? And then you keep pushing it off, and then you won't go back and do it. And then by the time the next, demo or something else comes up, you'll be very upset at yourself because you didn't actually implement anything because you didn't know where to go. And then you'll just write yourself off and you won't even come to the next demo or presentation, or you won't watch the replay because you see that it's very overwhelming because you put your own stumbling blocks in your own way. And we all know the rule, right? You cannot put a stumbling block in front of a blind person. But here's the thing. Some of us, we're perfectly good. We're not blind. However, we blind ourselves. We choose to hide in the gray areas, and then the gray area becomes dark, and then we wonder how we got here. So do yourself a favor and take that excuse away from yourself right now. Go grab a pen, go grab a paper, and join me and managing broker, right, for the state of South Carolina, right? No,
I'm
you're
not
not.
the managing broker
Not yet.
anymore.
Not anymore. But it's one of those titles that to me, it blew my mind. It was like one of those things that we're going to use it former, right? But we don't even have to, because the truth is you have so much merit to stand on your own today, right? You're like all these amazing things that you've put together in the last year, like that I've known you, I think are awesome, and this is the proof that, like first impressions matter. So what we're going to do is we're going to now turn the floor over to Annmarie Congemi, who the big thing that we're going to be focusing on today is KV Core, right? What is KV Core? KV Core is a CRM, a customer relationship management system that, Annamarie's really been able to leverage to use to get in front of her audience and in front of her people. By the way, if you are watching this video live, always remember you can leave a hashtag live because the engagement still counts. And if you do see this on the replay and you do see a comment box on the bottom, leave a hashtag replay, because it's always good for myself, for Annamarie, and anybody else watching this video to come back and see the engagement, see your comments, see who watched it, because you never know. Somebody might know who you are, might associate you as a rock star in real estate. And if they see that you took the time to go and watch this video and you took the time to leave a comment, it's probably important. And just by association, they're also going to watch the video. So without further ado, Annamarie, the floor is yours.
All right. So I'm going to preface by saying I have a Teams account. So there might be one or two things in my KV Core that look a little different from yours, but ignore those because the rest of the stuff, it all works the same. Also, I'm going to leave about 10 minutes towards the end for some questions. So if it's not covered, write it down and then we'll cover it in that last 10 minutes rather than the going through the chat as we're going, because I can't look at the three different things at the same time. So as Joe said, KV Core, with my brokerage, it's free. And I'm of the belief of why go buy something when you can use something for free, but it is a very complex system. It is very, very detailed. It does take a little bit to get to know what you do. So part one is going to be the introduction of what it looks like and where you find things. And then part two is going to be working on drips. And then the last part is going to show you how to connect Facebook leads to KV Core. And so I'll go, hopefully I'll cover all of those. Like I said, write your questions down. And then at the end, we'll open for questions. So number one, just to familiarize you with the desktop, when you open KV Core, you come to your dashboard. And so one of the key things is if you use the system with automated tasks, or you create your own tasks. When you come here, there'll be a little notification that'll tell you what you have to do. Okay, so it'll tell you what you were supposed to do today. And it gives you, you know, whatever it is that you're supposed to do. You can call right from here. So there is a call feature. If I was to hit call, it's going to come up. It says, hey, your phone will be called before the other party's connected. The call comes up, it rings to your phone, you do your little thing. And it even has an AI feature that will help you, you know, put some words in there. There's call scripts that you can get out of here. You can generate one using a prompt with AI. So it's really come a long way. Or you can just have a second screen with your Glover U scripts open and, you know, use them too. But it does have, it's not an auto dialer, but it is pretty simple if it's your task. Okay. So that's your little spot up here. On the left-hand side are a couple things, but the two things that like we're gonna look at really today is the smart CRM and the marketing. So the first thing you have to do in KB Core to set up is your marketing. So if you go to the marketing, hover over it and go to smart campaigns, in here is going to be these are your drips, right? So like Joe keeps talking about, build out your drips, build out your campaigns. Well, KB Core and the company has given you some. You could create your own, and I'll show you briefly how you can do that. So when you come in here, if you go into the KB Core library, there is all the different stuff that they have already in here. Okay, so you can search for something if you're looking for something specific, but let's say you're looking for a nurture campaign for buyers for 1 year. Okay, so here's theirs. It's a mix of mostly emails with a few text messages designed to keep your name in front of a long-term buyer prospect. So this is someone who, you know, isn't buying with you now. You got their name maybe off of a Facebook lead or something like that, and they're really not saying, hey, I'm ready to buy today. So if you open it up, it shows you what it's going to do. Okay, so it's telling you it's a nurture campaign for 1 year. It applies to anyone. There's no trigger to start it. Okay, so as of right now for this one, there's no trigger. So you would have to assign this to someone. On the 7th day, it's going to do this. You hit view, it shows you what it's going to send. Okay, then the next email, again, it'll show you what it's going to send, and you kind of go through and it shows you all the emails, and then it shows you what this text is going to look like. Okay, so say you like this, right? And it's just not 100% what you want it to do, but it's a good start. Okay, it's a good start. We can hit clone. Okay, so now it takes this campaign and it says, okay, we're going to clone it, but it gives us the option to change it. So in here, it's going to say, it gives you triggers. So it says, would you like to start this campaign when any of these things happen? So if the lead is marked new, it can start then. If it's transferred to you, like I have a team, so if I transfer it to an agent, it can start then. Or if I give it a hashtag. Okay, so I want to explain a few minutes what that means. So let's say we do Facebook leads ad and the lead comes in and we tell the connection to mark it as a new lead. Okay, we could create this campaign for those leads and say, anytime a lead comes in and it's marked new, I want them put on this campaign. Okay, that's what a trigger is. The second thing you can do, if you don't want to do that, because a lot of things come in new, right? If somebody visits your website, it comes in as a new lead. If somebody visits a listing you put on Facebook or something, it comes in as new. So maybe we don't want it to be new lead. We want it to be a specific tag. So you can set up different ads that you do or different things that you do to have a tag. And they call them hashtag, but you don't actually use the hashtag, you just saying tag. So let's say you're going to set this up with Facebook buyer or Facebook lead or Facebook ad lead, right? So you could say when hashtag is, and then it says, tell us what the hashtag is. Okay, so you could put the hashtag. So any lead that enters this database with that tag starts on this campaign. You don't have to do a thing to it. Okay, then it says that there's, or you can do triggers. Okay, so instead of having starting the campaign when it comes in new lead or it comes in with a hashtag, we can say when we trigger. So when there's something in a field, okay, we can have this start. So you can say, if it has a phone number, I want this one, right? Because maybe we want a text campaign, or we want a call campaign. So if it has a phone number, we want this to start. Or if we change the status. So if we change a status from new lead to active buyer, then we want it to start, right? So you can think the logic out of when can this auto start. And again, I know if you're new, right, it's really easy to say, oh, I don't need these things because I'm going to go in here and I'm going to do all this stuff and I'm going to work this person from the minute it comes in new to my thing. Well, I wish that was the case, but as you get busy, new leads are coming in, you're not seeing them for 5 days and you've lost them. So if you can put in as much automation to have things start, then you don't have to worry someone's going to think you're ignoring them. Things are going to happen from the beginning. So there's different things here you can do. Once you do that, like let's say you say it has a phone number, and when you say when the phone number has a value or whatever, you can. So this one's saying when it's not empty. Okay, so when their phone number is not empty, put them on this campaign. Okay, then or you can say I don't want to start with a trigger, and you can say does it always run or is it locked, right? So now we're going to say who is this campaign designed for? Well, it's designed for a buyer. And then it says set the details. Okay, you can call it whatever you want. So now you can change this to, Annamarie's buyer nurture campaign. Okay, next, finish. So now it changed it, right? So here's my nurture campaign. Now I can go in and edit these. So this was the first email. We're going to edit. Okay, and in here I can change whatever I want. So if I don't like what it said, if I want to change how it said it, I can go in here and I can change that. The key points to remember is you see these high first names and then agent first names. These are in the, no, that's not it. They're in one of these things, guys. I got to remember where it is. Oh, sorry, because I don't change too many of these. No, that wasn't it. I'm going to cancel. Yes. All right, it's going again. You have to remember when you put these in that you have to put these parentheses or don't change them because you're going to mess those up. But other than that, it does have ways to add links. It has ways to add HTMLs. There's a bunch of different stuff in them you can change, but most of the times you're just going to change a little bit of the wording to do what you want. So you can go through all of these and change. And then let's say it has something in here you don't like. You don't like the complete home buying guide. Remove it. Says yes, remove. That one comes out. Okay. Let's say you want to add a step. All right, I gotta get out of this. Okay, if you want to add, see here, add an action. I can say add an email, a text, a task, a call. So you can put in here that you're going to have it email them, you're going to text them, and then you're going to call them, and then you want to do something with it. That could be your task. So you can add a task. You can name the task, put what it's going to be, who's it's going to go, when you're supposed to do it, and save that. So you can add things into these campaigns. So you really want to take some time in the beginning to go through this KV Core library, figure out which of these you like. And if you like them just the way they are, you just hit add to my library. Okay. If you like them just the way they are, you hit add to my library. If you want to change them and have triggers or change the things in them, that's where you would open them and then you're going to clone them. Okay. And then that lets you do it your way. So then once you have that, then they'll all show up in your campaigns. So when they show up in your campaigns, over here, you're going to turn them on. So you can put a whole bunch over there and only turn on the ones you want to use for the time being. You can toggle them on or off, okay, to turn on to be able to use. You can see a lot of mine have triggers, okay? Hashtags, they're mostly hashtags, okay? So, and I use the hashtags, especially when doing squeeze pages. So if I do a squeeze page to do a Facebook boost of something, or an open house, you know, hey, check out today's open houses, and I do a Facebook post of that, I'm going to hashtag that so that when it comes in, those leads get put on something, right? So you definitely want to go through, spend a few minutes. And as you can see, I only have 10 I use, but there's tons that you can do. The templates is where you can, again, there's different emails. So the templates are just emails. They're not the campaign. So they do give you some examples in the templates of calls, tasks, webhooks, which they don't have any in there. But here's text. Okay, so this is their text that they're giving us. Buyer offer to set up alerts. Buyer turn off updates. Buyer, which properties do you like? Do you want a CMA update? Conversation starter. So again, you can clone, and that's what it looks like. It says, hey, thanks for looking at some properties on my website a few minutes ago. Are you actively thinking about a move or just browsing for now? And this one's a great one because that's the one that, like, you want to know, A, you know, answer one, you want to do something, or two, you're just leave you alone, you know, whichever. But you can take these and build into different things from here. Like that's what's in the templates. So also, if you have core video, which is connected to BombBomb, you can insert videos into here. So they give you, you know, so you'll have your campaigns, the library template. So say you go in the library, like the other day, I wanted to see if they had something for renters. So what I was looking for was, there's a renter, they're not telling you, they haven't come in. It's like, let's say it's your sphere, right? It's your friend and they rent and they're in no rush to buy and they're just renting, but you want to put them on something so that they're getting info from you, you know, like, hey, you know, why rent when you can buy, you know, different things like that. You can just come in here and search renter, and then it'll show you what they have. And then you can kind of go through them and see if they look like what you want. Otherwise, you'll have to build it. So that's number one, get your smart campaigns in order, figure out triggers. And so I'll talk about some of my triggers. So I have Facebook buyer, okay, seller share, sphere homeowner, and then home light, which is a lead source that I do. But those are my most important triggers because they kind of encompass the majority of things that I'm doing. So a lot of what I do is I share listings to Facebook. I share open houses to Facebook. I share why rent when you can buy to Facebook. And I use squeeze pages, and I'm not going to make this a squeeze page class because that's a whole nother class, and I don't think it's pertinent right this second. But if you don't know how to do a squeeze page, I'll do it really quick just to show you, but I'm not going to take more than 5 seconds on it. So you hit build a squeeze page. You can do multi, single, seller, or market report. Seller squeeze is asking anybody who, if they want a free CMA, like what's your home worth. Marketing report says a marketing report for a specific area. But the two most common are your multi-property or single property. So for me, anytime I'm going to share a listing onto social, it's never going to come from anywhere but KV Core. Because if I share it from my MLS or I share it from realtor.com or I share it from Zillow, the people go there, they look at it. I don't know anybody did it. If I share the link from KV Core, then it's going to make them register when they come back, and I'm going to lead capture. And then I can say, hey, Jenny, I saw you checking out my listings. Are you looking to buy a house? You know, or whatever from it. But I want to capture. So to share a single property, you just go in here, put in your listing or whatever listing it is you're looking for, pull it up. Okay, it says, where are you putting this? Facebook. Here's my hashtag. So on this, the hashtag would be Facebook buyer. Okay, and then when anyone clicks and it brings them back here, it's going to follow that lead trigger that says, if it says Facebook buyer, put them on this campaign. Okay, and then you just generate the link. So now when I post this on Facebook, and I go in here and I take the link, I go here, look, we're on Facebook, and I paste, it creates that listing. I can back this back out, say, check out my new listing, blah, blah, blah. When they go here, it's taking them to my website. And when it takes them to my website, they get to see it. They get to see all the info. And if they click around on it, it's going to ask them to register, and I'm going to lead capture. Okay, so this is free leads from KV Core. You also can do the same thing on a multi-property. In here, let's say I'm going to do, you know, my most famous one is Spartanburg County. And I'm going to say, I just want to know down here, just listed or open houses. Okay, I don't care about the rest of this because I'm just doing just listed. Again, hashtag's going to be Facebook buyer. And when it comes back in, Facebook cover photo, use a random listing from my company so I stay compliant. Again, generate link, copy. When I go to Facebook, it now creates like a bigger ad. Okay, so now this says just listed. Back this out again, use my little thing, you know, check out these great homes that were just listed in Spartanburg County, post that, goes out, people click on it, lead capture, back to the website again, right? Auto trigger, got the hashtag attached to the backside in that post that it is going to tell them that when it comes in, that they need to put on that campaign. So that's how I do this. I do this with open houses. And then of course you can boost that on Facebook as a Facebook ad. Again, if you're not doing the Facebook leads ad, it'll bring it back into the KV Core system and put it on the auto campaign. So there is tons of tutorials in KV Course on the squeeze pages, but really you can see by my history here, you can use them for so many things and just have free advertising, right? So that's your whole reasoning for the triggers. Smart CRM.
Hey, before we go there, if we could just take 1 second. First of all, I feel like from all of the trainings that I've sat here to watch this stuff, I know that some people in the beginning, they may have felt like, oh my gosh, what's she talking about? But what you realize is that like this is actual implementation. This isn't some scripted demo of this is what things look like. This is like what Annamarie is actually using right now to continue putting herself out in on the market. And I actually see these posts. So I see the links that she's posting and how she's putting them out there. And you can use them in so many different ways. You can use them as text messages. You can use them on Facebook posts. You can use them in emails. At the end of the day, it's identifying what you want to do and then figuring out how to build your way backwards. Many people are like, what are all these terms? There's triggers and hashtags and squeeze pages and forms and data sets. And you realize that these things are all really just talking to each other, right? Because the trigger is
Right.
what starts the campaign. Then, the squeeze page is ultimately what's going to create the trigger, right? The person's going to come to the page. They're going to, set it off. Then what's going to happen next? And it's really just a matter of how bad you want to follow up, because you can really get, in front of people automated. This works for expireds. It works for, regular ads on Facebook, regular buyers, regular sellers. And just before we jumped back into how to actually utilize this CRM and how to leverage everything that we're doing now, in the event that anybody has any questions, now's the time to bring them up. I am also going to look on the Facebook live stream to see if anybody has any questions over there as well. Looks like we're all set. So let's keep on rolling.
All right. So what you're going to do, the reason that you're doing this, right, is bring the leads in. So here's my dashboard. So I come to the dashboard and I sit down, and the dashboard is now telling me what is happening, right? What's happening. So as you can see, it will tell me when a new lead comes in. Okay. These are my Facebook leads here. See, the source was a new leads campaign 2024. This was my Facebook lead ad. So I have those going, and these 4 people came in 3 days ago from that.
Was this from
Okay.
the ad set that we built out, that we started working on, that we built out the same day, or was this from a different one?
Yeah, I actually did it Friday from your last recording. But yeah, so this was from a couple days, but it's the same exact one. I actually got I learned something from the second one that I went back and fixed the first one, but something's still not working right. So we're going to reconnect, because I think when I made the change, it disconnected my API. So so anyway, the new leads will come in and tell you new leads are there. Okay. You have the option to email, call, core video, or text right from this without even opening the lead up. It also, again, if you use the system, and a lot of my leads are in here, they're old that I pulled from other systems or whatever. So I wish that I was brand new and started with KV Core and put my whole business in it, because I think I would have a lot more business, because things would have been done right from day one, right? But the little fire, this little fire. Okay, so what the little fire is telling me is that these people, the AI has determined that these people are doing buyer triggers, like they're doing buyer activities. They're really hot. They are doing more than the average person who just checked out a listing. And that these are people you should be picking up the phone and saying, hey, what's going on? Or trying to get them to do something with you. Okay. So you and like Joe said, this is a little more detailed than you would get from any kind of KV Core, because I've tried doing one of these for the general public and they won't let it publish because this is personal information. So just so you know. But anyway, it's showing you a couple things. Number one, you're seeing this Teresa. She has visited from a computer. Okay. She's visiting from a computer. This is what she looked at. Okay. It'll tell you if they're visiting from a phone. Now, why does that matter? It matters because if someone is in front of their computer, they are they're going to respond to you because they're right there at that time. So if you see something happen right then and there at a computer, you need to really reach out. Whereas a phone, that person is probably more accessible. Okay. So it's good to know like what they're
You're
doing and how
saying
they're,
when someone reaches out and they're sitting on their computer and you see it come through, you want to try to get them as fast as possible. So, like, if you get the notification now, you want to just stop everything you're doing and call them
yes.
because they're sitting in front of a computer.
Right, because they're actively looking right this second for that thing where I think on a phone, we have our phones accessible to us all the time. And so that person is going to, especially if you're texting out of the KV core system, or because those things are going to their computer through the conversation. If they're at it, you're more likely to get them to respond right there and then, where when I see the computer ones, I might reach out to them later and then you get a later response. You don't get as instant. Whereas the phone people, you're going to get more regularly. So that's just a little thing. But you see, like this was even someone who went to my website and just contacted me, and I got a thing, hey, I was referred to you from a relative, whatever. And so you get all of your leads here. So you want to check this and see what's happening. Okay. Once something comes in and you see, like Teresa, I see she's viewing this listing. I can open Teresa now. And now I can see everything that's going on. So this is her timeline. Basically, they're calling this the timeline. You can move people through this. I want to do it by just clicking on it as to where they are. You can give yourself, like there are suggested things for these of who's a sphere, who's a prospect, who's a new lead, who's an active lead, who's a client. You've got to kind of determine that yourself, between prospect, active lead, and new lead. New lead, I don't like leaving people on new leads because that means no one's touched them. If I see new leads, like I keep telling my agents, move your people
So
off the new lead.
let me stop you 1 second, just
Sure.
for somebody who this may be the first time that they're getting exposed at all to the idea of like what a CRM is, what a client journey is. First of all, right under where you see that active lead, if you look under that, there's 3 bars. There's the how many views she's seen and how many times she's seen this actual property. So this lady
Right.
is like very seriously excited about it. And if you scroll up a tiny little bit, you see those steps that you have, right? Each one of these steps directly correlates as to where the client is holding in their literal journey, right? When you go on a plane, right, you pack your bag and you go to the airport. Once you go to the airport, you get the phone call, hey, I'm passing security, right? I'll call you back, right? That's stage 1, right? Stage 2 is, okay, let me go and check and make sure that the gate actually exists. Okay, now that the gate exists, right, let me go for a walk. And then you get on the plane and then you fly. You hope your bags don't get lost. You
Yeah.
find your bag, right? And then you get into the Uber and go where you got to go. That's the same timeline. So here, what Annmarie is basically saying is that you don't want to leave them in new lead. It means you don't want to go to the airport and not clear security. Because if you don't clear security, then you're going to have to go through all this stress again in order to get to your flight. It's okay if you don't go verify the gate just yet, because I mean the G gates are all there, right? And you're a top G, so you're not going to get lost when you're looking for the gate, right? It's all there. But now at least I'm past security, so I don't have to like worry about where I'm going and what I'm doing. And once you're past security, this is where we can play the game of, hey, do you want this, or do you want to go to that store, or do you want to go here, or do you want this bag, or do you want to look at that? And this is really where the lead becomes active, because they disconnect a little bit their stress and emotions of, oh my gosh, I have to get to the airport, and now they're here. So now they're ready to get on the plane. They're just waiting for someone to say, hey, come board at this gate.
Right. And so that's what I'm saying. So you have to make sure you're moving someone off new lead and you're putting them, typically you're either going backwards or you're going forward. So if a new lead comes in, right, this is someone saying they visited your website, you captured them, right? You have a new lead that came in. For me, you're either moving them backwards to prospect or you're moving them forward to active. So this lady's active. Okay. She was active today. She's looked at 3 properties this week, total of 14 properties. So she is active. She is an active lead. A prospect is someone who isn't doing anything. You can't reach out with them. They're not communicating. They're not opening the stuff, so for me, that would be prospect. But again, you figure it out to what makes sense to you. A client is someone we're actually physically showing homes to. And I have that because when my people move to client, all automation stops. And the only reason that I do that is I don't want to send them stuff that says, hey, have you thought about getting pre-qualified when we're already out pre-qualified showing houses, right? I want, so when they move to client, all automation stops. Then it has to be things I'm telling it to do, right? So again, figure out what works for you, but definitely don't leave a whole bunch of people with new lead, because then the new lead should be the ones telling you you haven't done anything with these people yet. Mine stay on new lead a little longer because the automation starts off of the tag, and then it just means I've gone in and looked at them, okay, and called and done whatever. But it also shows you on the left your phone numbers and emails if you have them, if there was hashtags that were assigned to them. Okay, so I am of the theory, the more hashtags, the better, or the more tags, the better, because you can search this system by tags. And so I like to tag people the area that they're searching, if there's something unique, if there's a time frame, if they're okay, so never put 3 months, looking in 3 months as a tag, because what relevance does that have, right? You don't know 3 months from when. But if I talk to somebody today and they tell me they're not ready, or because of their credit, let's say they're not ready until October, then I will put October buyer as a tag. Okay, and this way I can go in and sort through contacts by these tags. If I have a new listing and that listing has something unique about it, or a 3-car garage, I can go in and search my people by 3-car garage if you put the tags there. So tag away. Don't be afraid to tag. Add as many as you want to, that the way your brain works. So you can tag them over here, whatever you want. It gives you a spot for insights, and it gives you a spot for summary. And so insights are based on A-B, a lot of times we use A, B, C, D buyers, or, however you qualify, meaning ready, willing, able, and what's the fourth one, Joe?
Capable. They actually have the
Capable.
money.
Right. Okay. So that would be maybe 5 stars. You could do 4 stars if they're missing some, 3 if they're missing something else. So you can use those stars to sort people, if you want to use this as your indicator. And what the insights is, and I'm going to tell you, it's going to tell you what they came in on. It doesn't mean that's what they really want, but the insight from the system says this person is searching for 248,849, because that's the price of the listing they looked at. Okay. Doesn't really mean they are, but it will tell you that, like this one, she signed up 2 years ago. Okay. And she was active 4 hours ago. She was generated by Facebook, and then it'll give you anything else that it finds. It has a way for you to run a validation. So if you run a validation, it'll see if it finds anything else more from this person. So sometimes you don't have an email, and if you run a validation, it'll find an email. It'll find their LinkedIn. It'll find different things of different ways you can't get with the person. It might see, so it's giving me her Twitter now and her LinkedIn. Okay, so I can connect with her on those things by using the validations. It tells me who owns it. On the center here, I can sort by activity. So I can look at inbound stuff she sent, outbound stuff I sent, calls I made, notes, any properties she's looked at, if she's asked questions, showing requests, text. I can sort by any of that, or I can just have it on all activity. And then it will show me things that have happened. Okay, what she's looked at, any emails that we've sent, things that we've done, text messages. Okay, and her and I are going back and forth because she seems to think she can get a 250 plus house with a pool and hardwood floors for $1,200 a month because the internet told her so. So we've been having a little bit of text back and forth. And but it'll show you everything that's been going on. That's your middle. You can use the right side is going to show you any alerts that you have set up for her, any campaigns they're on, market reports, if they have a house, if we give them a listing valuation, and if they've downloaded the core app. And there is an invite, and this is for someone who wants to use their phone to search. That you can send them the core home site. They can search on there. They can communicate with you from there. So you would hit send invite if you want to send them that. But every single person in here needs to be on an automation. You need to pick an automation. So say you don't have any triggers. This is a new lead that came in. What you're going to do is you're going to go into add alert. Okay. And then you're going to say, so alerts are what they're looking for. So this is showing you, like usually KV Core will show you on the left side what they've been looking at, like they came in off 249. You can't reach them to say, hey, let me refine this. You set them up with something. So you go in here and you go wherever the area was that they were looking at. You're going to send it out. Like I like to send them out as soon as possible. As soon as there's a match, you put the area that they were looking in. Okay, whatever that is. You can, because they came in off of Simpsonville, and then you're gonna send them their price range, right? So she was looking at 250. We don't know what she wants about anything else, and that's all we're gonna set, and we're gonna hit save and send. Okay, so then it's gonna put that alert like this. Okay, so this one was because I did through the automation. One of my automations was, hey, give us more specifics on what you're looking for. And then that started the conversation where she actually was texting with me and said she wanted the Greer, Taylors, Lyman, Greenville, Inman, Spartanburg, Simpsonville areas under 300. And that's what I set up for her. There's not enough houses on the market right now for me to care about that it has to have hardwood floors. She's going to get whatever matches. So you can set up your alerts. You want to make sure you're putting everybody on, go back to her. You're putting everybody on a campaign. Okay, so you want a campaign. So again, if there's no campaign automatically assigned, you're going to hit add. My computer's acting slow here. Oh, there it is. Add campaign. And again, you can pick those campaigns that you've already, that's why you have to do the campaigns first and know what's in them and know what you like and name them the way you're going to know. But then you would go through and you'd pick the campaign that you want to put her on, hit add, and then they get on a campaign. You can also do a market report. So a market report is showing what's happening in the market. And I like to put buyers on market reports for their areas that they're searching, because they're sitting there waiting for houses to come down. And so if they get the market report, it shows them that houses have gone up 3%, that houses have, this many houses came on the market, this many have gone under. So they're getting an idea that, hey, you're sitting there waiting and stuff is going up while you're waiting. So I put them on a market report. And then if this was someone who owned a home, I can add them on a listing valuation. You hit add, you put their property address in, and it'll ask you when you want to send it. You can send them a property valuation. Okay. So if you have them on this automation, she's getting the market report every 28 days. So she's getting that, she's getting a campaign, right? And she's getting an alert. I am of the belief that every person in your database needs to have something, because a Sphere friend who owns a home still needs to be getting a listing valuation every 6 months, right? You can even go one step further and send them houses in their area above the price point that they are, just so they can, or in the price point they are, just so they can see what other people are getting for their houses. Every buyer or every person who's a renter should be on some type.
Smart idea. That's a really smart idea. If there's anything that you picked up from here, is that you should be sending your buyers market reports.
Right. Buyers need to get market reports. Sellers should be getting their listing valuation. You should be making sure that if they own a home and they're your mom, okay, they don't need to necessarily be on a seller drip, but you should also create a campaign that just does like a newsletter type thing, like where you're sending them out to talk about, you know, how to maintain your home. And again, you can go into the templates and find these. You can find these emails and create a little campaign that you're sending out every 2 months or every month that says, you know, tips for spring, tips for fall, whatever. But you need to be reminding people that you're a realtor, because although you think they love you, they care about you, and they're going to remember, if they don't need you, they don't remember. And then they buy with somebody else or they sell with somebody else. So everyone in your database should be on something. They should have something automated and coming from you. So let's say I'm in her and I'm talking to her and I want to call her. Again, I hit new call. It's going to dial her for me. Okay, it's going to dial her. I can log my call, write all the notes of everything that we've talked about. I can say it was a bad number, it didn't connect, you know, whatever. It even gives me call scripts. Okay, so you can use these, generate little things, but you could call. If I talk to her, if she called me and I didn't from here, I'm going to log the call and add the note. Okay, if I just want to add a note, like, you know, whatever, I can add the note from here and write everything that I talked about. And I just was talking to Juan about this morning. You think you're going to remember things, right? You think you're going to remember things when you're talking to someone, because especially if you're newer in the business and you're only, you know, you're calling however many people a day and you're reaching, let's just say you're reaching 5 and you're talking to 5 people, and out of those 5 people, only one person has something where you're going to do, right? You're going to send them on some type of, you know, search or whatever, or they're telling you 7 months from now they're going to buy or whatever. You think you could keep all those things straight and they sound great. But once you get busy, you will no longer be able to remember that you even talked to that person. The name's going to come up on your phone and you're going to go, crap, who is this? What are they talking about? They're going to text you and you're like, I don't remember what the conversation was. I promise. You have to have the notes. This way you can go back and you can look at the notes and go, oh, yeah, okay, now I remember, and then help them, right? So make sure you're adding notes for everything you're doing. You can also send text from here, right? So I can just send a text, send her a little text, whatever I want to write, send it. I can add bomb videos. You know, I can do it that way or whatever, but I can send it there. And then, like I said, it has the core video. If you have bomb, you can do core video, and you know, you can, depending, I think KV Core lets you do so many free, right? I don't remember because I pay, but there's so many free ones you can do, but you can't use a library. If you buy the subscription for $30, you can go in the library. So like I can go in my library and find a video, so I can have all of those videos recorded, and I can just send a video from here, text or email. So that's your core video. And then you'll see more actions. Okay. So again, I can add a task. So remember I said in the beginning, when I come to my desktop, there's the little notification up top that tells me what I'm supposed to do today. So again, talking with somebody, I'm supposed to send them something. I can put a task in that tomorrow, okay, tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'm going to do this. So I can schedule in a task. So when I come back to my KV Core tomorrow, it's going to tell me, hey, you're supposed to do this for her. So I can add tasks. I can send her evaluation from here. I can unsubscribe her to emails or texts if we've talked about that, if she's unsubscribed. Or let's say she texts my personal phone and says, please stop sending me that crap. I can just come here and unsubscribe her. I can delete, I can rerun it. You know, you can export it. I can try to find her on these other things. So, I mean, it's a really robust system that does a lot of things. And if you really get in the habit of using it, it will run your business. The next one I want to get to is the profile details. So in this page, this is especially important when we close. When we run them through the system and now we're closing them out. This should be on your list of things to do when you close out your lead. Okay, you sold them a house or you sold their house, is to come in here and edit all of this. Because like I send out an email that says, hey, how did I do? Give me my rating, right? And then it says, please respond back with the following things: your spouse's name, your favorite candy, what do you like to drink, alcohol, non-alcoholic, what restaurants do you like to go to, what's your birthdays, what's your anniversary, right? So if they give me back that information, I can come in here and I can add all of that. And then I can add a task for birthday videos or birthday cards or home anniversaries, right? You can add, you know, different things in here, but you need to have like, where is their address now, right? Where's their address? What's their homeowner status? You know, and so when you're adding your spheres, you want to go in and you want to put all this in because these are reasons to contact your spheres.
Guys, you don't realize some of y'all are like extremely overwhelmed right now, and you're like, dude, Annamarie, how do you have like so much control over everything that you're doing? And you know, the honest truth is that when you build out a CRM for the first time, it's extremely overwhelming because it's a lot of information where you need to understand that everything we're doing with these systems, it's all data based. It's all collecting information. And you may sit here, like you're saying, you know, especially I see this with new agents all the time. I'm going to just write it down by hand. I'm not going to sit and fill it in. I'll fill it all in later. I'll do it tomorrow. I want to talk to 10 people. I want to get an appointment first before I start taking this seriously. What you don't realize is that the person you're talking to today who's interviewing agents next month, if they're going to get a text message from you automated on Friday, and then on Saturday, and then on Tuesday, and then on Monday, you won't probably, like you're saying, you won't even remember. You know, if you're like me in the beginning of the business, I never saved phone numbers. Like now, by the time I get off the phone, their contact's already saved in my phone. Because like, you don't ever know when they're going to call. And what are you going to do? Hello? Oh, you don't know who I am? Okay, bye. Wrong number.
Right.
Find someone who does know who I am.
Right.
And this is really where putting in all this information, spending 5-10 minutes once, you know, will save you so much time in the long run and probably actually even increase your hourly value, because in the long run, you'll start making a lot more money, you know, because you'll have more leads, because you'll have more people, because the people will still, you know, be interested in talking to you because they're getting these messages from you all the time.
Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop there. And then really quick, show you, for those doing Facebook lead ads, how you connect KV Core. And then we'll do questions. So when you go over here to Marketplace, click Marketplace, do yourself a favor, come right here to search and type API, and you'll see API Nation Integrates. Click that, say add to KV Core. Okay, and then it wants to know, okay, KV Core and what? What do you want to link? Facebook lead ads. It's going to make you sign up. I think it has me. No, I got to sign in. Okay, and so now it says, I want to sync these. Yeah, see, it kicked mine out. It's going to make you sign into both. So first it will ask you to sign into Facebook typically. And then it's going to ask you to sign into KV Core. And so mine's already connected. It just got disconnected because I made a change. You'll actually have to do your Facebook login. And then it's going to say, is this you? Which business account do you want to use? And then for your KV Core, you're going to use your KV Core login. If it's EXP, you have to sign in with your enterprise stuff. Okay. And then it says, okay, which page do you want? Because I have 2 pages I'm running ads off of. So I'm picking the one my ad is running off of. Okay, and then it says which form, right? Because Joe showed us how to create the forms. So you have to pick the form that you picked, right? So this is the new one that I have with my ad. And then it says, it's going with my KB core. I'm going to say subscribe. And now what it's doing is it's finding that lead at the lead form that we've created, and it is going to match up my stuff. So basically it's saying in KV Core on Facebook, the thing I have is first name. Where does that go? What does it match what KV Core says? So yes, these match. Okay, last name, emails, phone number. If you can go like this and you can find what was on the form on the plus. So that's what you're doing. You're picking. So when you're in, it's saying in the KV Core first name block, what was it? Okay, so on Facebook, it's first name. I got to get rid of that. That's all you're doing there. Okay. On this one, on the last name, click its last name. On the email, click its email, and then phone number, which I'm actually going to remove that one because I'm going to put that in cell phone. Okay. So I'm finding phone number. And then as we go down, it's giving you, do you want to give it a status? So I'm fine with it being new lead. Okay, so it's saying the new lead status is assigned only when the contact's created. So, I mean, you can type new lead in here, but it's going to do that. Lead type, it's a buyer, right? That's what I want KV Core to say. Hashtags, okay? This is where I'm putting that. I want it on my Facebook buyer campaign. Okay, and then it goes down. If you want to add anything else in there, you can add them in. And then you're going to hit save or whatever, but yeah, save. Okay. And that is it, y'all. That's how you connect them. And so then they come, it's synced. So now every time a Facebook lead, from the leads ad, not from squeeze pages, from the leads ad, every time they do the stuff, it's going to come. The only thing I can't figure out, Joe, is how to get the form over.
How to move the form over from Facebook into KV Core?
Right, because like the form says, do you own or do you rent? I don't know. I can't find where that is, like, to import that
So
info.
what we need to do is into the actual campaign that you're running, you need to
Yeah.
add a field for notes. And then what you're going to do is you're going to point the answers to the questions into the notes. And each one of those answers will be a separate. So there's another integration that I like to use that it's running out of my head right now. I have like 8 things going. I don't want to have my computer like overwhelmed. So I wasn't going to go look it up, but I'll share it afterwards. There's another integration that we use that allows me to actually copy one for one. Everything that
Not Zapier, right?
that is Zapier. That's exactly
Yeah,
what
but I don't think Zapier works with KV Core.
Well, that might be a different problem. Than what we can do is we can run Zapier to a Google spreadsheet, and then the Google spreadsheet can then import the KV Core. It's an additional step, but it may be something to look into. There are ways to be able to play around with it. And yeah, I'd be happy to, push this a little farther on down, later on, either in the week, on the weekend, or sometime that we both are able to sit and kind of, play pitch and cash with it a little bit, because I think that, by being able to explore these different angles, it was really cool that, you use the API Nation. I never actually built that site out. So by seeing the 2 different ends, I see some things that now I understand why we still use Zapier. Because it pulls in some of the notes easier. It also copies the questions one-to-one. And I think that the big reason why Zapier would potentially not work, just off the top of my head, with KV Core is because KV Core is a very rigid, closed API system where you can't mess around with some of the things as much as you can with maybe other softwares. And honestly, that's totally cool. For everybody that's watching this right now for the first time, like you're about to implement something, just go implement. Like, don't think about all of the back end stuff. Think about right now, like, okay, I have a spreadsheet, or I literally have a handwritten list of all of the people I'm talking to. Let me make it a point to just upload them once, because even if you upload it here and then you decide that you want to switch to a different CRM in the future, the cool thing about data is that it's all transferable in a like an Excel spreadsheet, right? So you can download it always, you can upload it always, and at the same time, you also are able to, at the very least, start playing around with automation. For the most of us who are watching this video, who receive this as part of our monthly dues and subscriptions anyways, I mean, dude, you may as well use it. Like, don't go and
Right.
spend money on something until you know your way around.
And you can use this playbook in the middle here where it says gather your sphere. Um, and they will actually, you have two options. You can do it yourself and download the template and copy and paste everything in the right way. But literally you can submit a file to them and they'll put it in. And you can even tell them what hashtag you want it added with. So if you've got a list of people somewhere, send it to the people who run the KB core here, inside real estate or whatever. Just send it through there and that submit a file, and they'll put them all in there for you. You can tell them what hashtag you want on them, so that, and I think you can even tell them if you want a campaign started from it or whatever. But if you do the hashtag start, you can do that. So like Joe said, definitely start somewhere. The other thing about the thing is, so at least the new people are coming in here. You can always go back to the Facebook leads center and look at the leads, which is what I've been doing. And I mean, for as many as you get a day, it's not that many. Just open them up and see who said own and rent, and go back and write own, rent, own, rent, own, rent. You know what I mean? That was the only question that it didn't take. So it's not that big of a deal, but let's I'm ready for questions if someone has one.
Yeah, guys, this is the opportunity now. If anybody's got anything, if you've been holding it in the whole time, now's the best time to bring it up. If not, what we're going to do is we're going to get ready to wrap this up, because there are quite a few people who've literally taken an entire, like, hour out of their day to sit here and grow and learn with us. And we want to be respectful of their time. Also want to be respectful. And again, thank Annamarie for making the time to sit down here for an entire hour, and really just kind of just open up the book and show everything that she's got going on. It's very few and far between that you can find agents in today's marketplace that not only do they have answers to questions, not only do they have things that they can share with you in terms of knowledge and experience in a past tense, but also who are actively taking all of their knowledge and experience and applying that to continue leveling up their game every single day. And it's a real pleasure to have gotten to know you, to see everything you've been doing and implementing, and to continue growing, getting to know you, and learning from you as we go. So Annamarie, thank you very much again. If there are no more questions, what we're gonna do, what we're gonna do now, is we're gonna wrap this up. Everybody who's joined here will receive a copy of the replay. And if you hear about this, or if you've received this again from somebody who sent this to you on unlisted, again, call that person, tell them thank you for showing you the way, and tell them thank you for giving you this replay, and get in touch with us if there's anything that we can do to be of help with you in any way, shape, or form. Let's make it a great day.